So after my last video that I did on one of these where I was talking about geoengineering, I had quite a few inquiries from people asking me the best ways to detoxify our bodies. Because of course, not only do we have toxins sprayed over our heads in aerosol sprays, we have toxins injected into us, if you consent to it. We have toxins in our food and food-like products. We live in a very toxic world. It's really no wonder that we have exponential increasing in disease rates these days. One of the causations is the toxins in our environment. So before I get into the methods, dietary suggestions, and supplement recommendations that I have for you to detoxify yourself with, we're going to discuss a couple other things first. Because of course, when talking health, we are holistic beings. Every single little aspect of our bodies is connected. So when talking about cause and effect, there's many, many different causative factors that go into our health. So there's a couple things to discuss first. First one is water, high quality H2O. And there's a few rules that I have for you in regards to water. Number one, how much should you be intaking per day? Well, first of all, consistency is key. Remember, we are 70 to 80% water. And it really kind of blows my mind how many people just disregard water in terms of their health and trying to get over any said disease. So remember guys, water. And the suggestion that I have in regards to intake per day is 1/2 ounce per pound of body weight. Apologies to my international friends. I don't really know the metric system. They teach us weird things here in America. But 1/2 ounce per pound of body weight. So for instance, I weigh about 170 pounds on a good day. I usually shoot for about 90 to 100 ounces of water per day. So I have a big gallon I usually just take around with me and chug that throughout the day. Now, of course, this is variable depending on, say, your activity levels. If you're more active, you do some hard labor during the day, you're going to want a little more. If you live in a humid climate, we're going to be perspiring a little bit more. You probably want some more water. But again, in general, 1/2 ounce per pound of body weight per day. Second rule with water, purified. My Lord, how much crap do they put in our water with toxins? Fluoride, chlorines, prescription medication has even been found in some drinking water supplies. So definitely look into a purification system. You can get reverse osmosis, RO systems. This is the one I would suggest most. You can get them for under your sink that you could just hook on there. You can even get some gravity filtration systems that aren't RO, but they definitely still detoxify the fluoride out of the water too. You just want to make sure the packaging specifically says fluoride. And in regards to the purification of water, definitely look into shower filtration systems. Because when you're bathing, you have gallons and gallons of hot water, if you take hot showers, hot water running over your skin. Your skin's the largest organ of your body. So if you have fluoride in your water and you're taking hot showers, you're absorbing it. So definitely look into a water filtration system for your shower head and your bathtub as well. So 1/2 ounce per pound of body weight. Definitely purify that water as much as possible. And electrolytes. Definitely needs to be said in regards to water. Because if you're drinking a load of distilled or even reverse osmosis purified water, you don't have the electrolytes that you should be intaking in with that water. And if you drink a bunch of water and don't have enough electrolytes in your body, you can still become dehydrated. The function of an electrolyte, when I say electrolytes, we're talking mainly sodium and potassium, but also magnesium and calcium. The function of sodium and potassium in particular is to bring nutrients and water into your cells and then take the nutrients and the toxins and water out of your cells, right? So it's a pumping mechanism with electrolytes. If you don't have electrolytes in your body, you're not going to get those toxins out of your cells, okay? So you can eat your electrolytes in foods. There's some supplements you can take with electrolytes, but food is always better because most supplements are synthetic, isolated supplements. There's very few on the market I would actually suggest, but the supplement talk is one for another time. So to recap, in regards to water, 1/2 ounce per pound of body weight, maybe a little more depending on your lifestyle. Purify the heck out of it. Eat a lot of electrolytes or add them to your water as needed. You can also add Himalayan sea salt. little dash of that to your water as well. That's a very good way to add some whole food, natural electrolytes to your water to drink. So we covered water. Now let's go into limiting toxin intake. Of course, you can detoxify your body as much as you want, but if you don't limit the toxins going into your biological meat suit, you're not really doing much good. So limiting toxin intake, this could be a whole video in and of itself that could take me hours and hours to discuss. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of registered carcinogens are in our environment that we often encounter daily. I think a study recently showed that the average baby's umbilical cord blood has over 100 different carcinogens, 100 different toxic compounds just in the umbilical cord blood. So that goes to show you, especially mothers with a fetus in you, definitely keep yourself detoxified, limit your toxin intake, but just in general, I mean, they are everywhere, even if we don't see them, okay? So first suggestion I have there, your food. Like I mentioned earlier, food-like product, because of course, much of the stuff we buy these days in big box stores, we couldn't even classify as food. It's literally not food. It's just chemicals that taste good, you see? So your GMOs, just be a very avid label reader. I mean, literally, every single little thing you buy, you should be turning that sucker around and looking at the ingredients and see if there's any little word on there that doesn't look like food, or that you can't pronounce, or that you don't understand, right? Do that. It's very important. Consciousness is key. So avoid your GMOs. Get very familiar with the ingredients in your food that is genetically engineered, mainly corn and soy, and the derivatives of corn and soy, like corn syrup, soy bean oil, soy protein, MSG, etc. But GMOs, we got preservatives, you know, your nitrates in meat, and just all sorts of different preservatives that are put into food. You got your artificial sweeteners like aspartame and whatever the heck they call aspartame these days. They try to rebrand it with a new name like every year just to sell it on the market. You've got your acesulfame potassium or ACE-K. You've got your Splenda, aka sucralose in this category. All of those are extremely toxic. Avoid all artificial sweeteners, all right? Number 2, under the limiting toxin intake, hygiene products. Just like I mentioned a minute ago, your skin, the largest organ of your body, you will absorb toxins transdermally, i.e. through your skin. So with your hygiene products, your soaps that you're using, your hand soaps, your bath soaps, your shampoos, your conditioners, even your products that you're using to wash your clothing with, right? A lot of people are using very toxic compounds to wash their clothes with, and their clothes retain that. When you put your clothes on you every single day, you know, they smell like what? Clorox or whatever the heck you're using, and you're taking that into your body through your skin. So when it comes to hygiene products, buy natural hygiene products. Don't go to those big box stores where they're all going to be toxic. Make the effort to go to a local market or on an alternative market, or peruse the internet and buy specifically toxin-free hygiene products. Avoid your parabens. Avoid your petroleum-based byproducts. Avoid your SLS, your sodium lauryl sulfate, etc., etc. Again, there's a lot of singular ingredients that I'm not listing here, but you can hear me speak because I'm just very familiar with ingredients on labels. And make the effort to educate yourself about these singular ingredients so you can avoid them. So we went over food-like products, hygiene products, and it goes to note also dental products here. A lot of dental products have fluoride in them, your toothpaste, your mouthwashes, etc., etc. Don't buy it. Hygiene products, and then other, and this other category could be many, many, many ingredients long, but basically just think of your senses, right? So your taste, your sight, your touch, your hearing, I mean, your senses are basically your warning system for toxins. So anything you breathe, anything you touch, anything you eat, avoid toxins in that intake. So your air, make sure your air is purified. I mean, buy household plants. There's great plants that you can buy that'll help detoxify the air in your home. And goes to note, I mean, if you live in a place that is very polluted, say in an urban city, or a place where there's a bunch of geoengineering chemicals sprayed over your heads, get out of there, man. I wouldn't want to be there. So your air, your clothes I mentioned earlier, even EMF waves, you know, electrosmog, Wi-Fi, and Gwen towers in our cities, and 4G networks, and Bluetooth, man. I don't use anything Bluetooth. I still use wired headphones. I don't talk with a phone at my ear. I don't use a Bluetooth mouse. I use a wired mouse. So these are definitely important things. You could classify electrosmog as a toxin, okay? And many other things go in the toxin categories here. But be very, very aware of what in your environment is harmful for you. Because the more conscious you are of that, the more awareness you have, the more you can get it out of your life and then make yourself immensely healthier. That will help you in many different regards. Your brain's going to function better. Your body's going to function better. You're going to live a happier life. Now let's go into detoxification. Let's actually get into some dietary suggestions, supplementary suggestions, and then methods to detoxify your body with. Number one, let's go over diet. And the main thing to focus on when you're trying to detoxify yourself is high alkalinity. You want your pH levels very high. Look into the work of Dr. Otto Warburg, won a Nobel Prize like 80 years ago, 1920s or 30s, for proving that cancer does not do well in a highly alkalized, highly oxygenated environment. So me in particular, I have a juicer. I try to juice every single day. I do beet and celery and cucumber and a bunch of greens in there to alkalize myself with. And especially if you're trying to detoxify, you can use cilantro. Cilantro is a great food to consume if you're trying to detoxify. It's very helpful at getting heavy metals, binding to toxins, getting them out of your body. So focus on that alkalinity. And again, the reason why fruits and vegetables are alkaline is because they have a lot of electrolytes. Electricity. You're literally eating more electricity when you eat whole raw foods. This is why I often say JERF. It's one of my favorite acronyms there is. J-E-R-F. JERF. Just eat real food. Okay? So, eat real food that has a lot of electrolytes for that alkalinity in it. Fiber. Fiber is one that a massive amount of Americans are extremely deficient in. You should be averaging probably between 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. So again, take that label, flip it around. Not only see what ingredients are in there, but look at your macronutrients, right? Make sure there's a good amount of fiber that you're intaking every single day, pushing all that stuff in your digestive tract out. If you're not pushing all that stuff in your digestive tract out on a daily basis, it's going to stick in there and absorb back into your body. So what you're trying to detoxify, your body's not getting out, and it's just going right back in, right? You should be having a good solid BM, bowel movement, at least once a day. At least once a day. Many people are not there. So you want to be shooting for enough fiber and also probiotics. So we were just talking digestive tract. Your digestive tract is one of the pivotal pillars in your body that you need to keep healthy. You won't have a healthy brain, you won't have a healthy immune system, you won't have healthy hormones if it wasn't for a healthy digestive tract. Again, holistic thinking, right? So many different things are connected within us. So your digestive tract, eat probiotics, fermented foods, drink your kombuchas, eat your miso and your kefir and other foods that are fermented, probiotics in them. You can also supplement with fiber and probiotics. But granted, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to supplements, there's a lot of bad ones on the market. So you want to make sure what you're getting is a good brand and very pure. But you can supplement with these things. I don't really supplement with fiber. I myself particularly use a lot of chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds for my fiber because they also have just tons of minerals and good fatty acids in there, but also a lot of fiber. So I eat my fiber, but I do myself supplement with probiotics because I just don't really eat enough fermented foods on a daily basis. I don't really have them available in the stores around here as well. So I do supplement with probiotics. That's just me. Dietary suggestions. Now let's move into some supplements. First of all, a category of supplements that I really, really like for detoxification purposes is algae. This is your spirulina. This is your chlorella. Very exotic sounding words if you've never heard of them before, but they are amazing foods. I don't really call them supplements. You buy them in supplement stores, but it's really a food. It's a food that's just packaged in a bottle or in a capsule form that you eat that has amazing health benefits. Spirulina and chlorella, the different algaes, they have a load of antioxidants, a load of vitamins and minerals, and an amazing source of plant-based protein as well in them, but they're also very detoxifying. You'll notice when it comes to spirulina and chlorella, they are dark green. They're extremely dark green. They're almost black colored because they have so many phytocompounds within them. And in regards to the algae, in particular chlorella. Chlorella is the main one for detoxification because chlorella is able to bind with heavy metal molecules in your body and get them out of you. So chlorella, a little more expensive than spirulina because it's a little tougher to manufacture, but chlorella is just great for heavy metal detoxification. So again, make sure you get a really pure source with your spirulina and your chlorella, but I use these on a daily basis. I personally use the powders. They don't taste good, but does taste really matter? Or does you, your body, your health, your brain matter? Don't let your ego make your decisions for you. Long-term thinking here. So I would highly suggest using these in your supplementary, your dietary regimen. Now let's go and do a couple supplements that I fancy. Again, there are hundreds of supplements on the market that you could choose for detoxification. I have two suggestions here. Number one, zeolites. Zeolites you can buy in a powdered and also a liquid form. But what a zeolite is that it's an ancient mineral that comes from only a few places on this earth. I think the main source of zeolites are volcanic deposits in Russia. But zeolite is a mineral that has a specific cage-like structure within its molecule. And within the molecules of zeolite, it has a negative charge, a negative magnetic charge. So whenever you take in zeolites and that little lattice-like negatively charged structure molecule comes in contact with a positively charged toxic ion, it sucks it right in and it gets it out. So it has the opposite magnetic charge of toxins in your body, leading it to suck them in and carry them out. So zeolites are very effective at heavy metal detoxification. Just be careful with them. I've personally seen people get sick taking too many zeolites too quick to detoxify. So cardinal rule, when you're starting any detoxification regimen or you're starting any new supplement, new thing to detoxify yourself with, just start very easy. Start with a little bit per day and then work your way up to a more manageable regimen, a more manageable amount that you're intaking. Number two, Essiac tea. Essiac tea is a particular blend. You can buy it from many different brands. It's a specific name of a tea that is a proprietary blend. And Essiac tea has a lot of different herbs in it. Burdoc's the only one I can think of right now, but it's a blend of a lot of different herbs. And Essiac tea was developed by a Canadian nurse about 60 years ago. Her name was Ren Case. Case backwards is Essiac. So that's where the name Essiac comes from, Ren Case. This specific blend of herbs in this tea was actually a Native American blend. And she was studying these Native Americans use this specific proprietary tea on their peoples and just get amazing health benefits from it. So Ren Case took this blend and started using it with her own patients and just found amazing success with it. Ren Case befriended some very important people in the health field because she started getting attacked by Canadian health officials and the FDA here in America. She actually befriended John F. Kennedy's personal physician. His name was Dr. Brush, I believe. She befriended him. That was a very important ally that she had in her fight because, like I said, a lot of health authorities were trying to come down on her just for a frickin' herbal tea, but it was detoxifying people so well that they didn't like that, of course. So Essiac tea, something very helpful for you to take. You can take it in the morning and at night, depending on how much you want to detoxify and how quick. So there's a couple supplementary suggestions. Now the last little column that I have here that I'll stand over here to show you is exercise and movement. This often goes unsaid in terms of detoxification, but it's extremely important because exercise and movement, I mean, I don't really even need to say it. How much of our lives do we live sedentary? I mean, we're always in these flexed positions, sitting on our desk, not moving at all, or behind cars, at our desk, at our computers, sitting there watching TV. We just live my God, completely sedentary lives. Compared to our ancestors, and I'm talking ancestors just like 100 years ago. 100 years ago, people were averaging between 3 and 4 hours of activity per day. They didn't have TVs, they didn't have computers, they didn't have schools that made them sit for 12 hours a day, right? So they were much more active. I think on average, people get less than an hour, if not 30 minutes of activity these days. So move, guys, move to detoxify yourself with. That's gonna help drain your lymph nodes, get those toxins out of your body, get the fluids moving around all of your organs, all of your systems, but at least in terms of your spine especially, because we're trying to detoxify our nervous systems primarily, right? Our nervous system is the system that controls everything else in our body, so we want to detoxify that. We've been talking about heavy metals a lot in this video. Let's talk about our spines, because the thing about our spine is that our discs don't get direct blood supply. This is why movement is so important, and this is also why when you go to a chiropractor, they often recommend traction on your neck or traction on your low back, using one of those big upside down tables or a simple neck traction, different methods to do it with. But traction helps to pump your spinal vertebrae so you can get toxic fluids out of it and nutrients into it. This process is called imbibition, spinal imbibition. So you can do traction, or you can do just exercise, do various twisting exercises, do something that's a little more active, a little more impactful than just like stretching on the ground or yoga. Not saying stretching or yoga isn't helpful, but there's a balance that needs to be had with your movement or your exercise. You want softer, or what we could call more feminine exercises, complemented with more masculine or more impacting, more catabolic exercises. So that's a discussion for another time, the balance between working in and working out. But you want exercise that's going to be heavier, more hard-hitting, more intense, more aggressive to get the fluid moving around your body, especially your spinal cord, so you can do that imbibition. You can pump your discs, get bad stuff out, good stuff in, and then, of course, sweat. Just sweat. If you don't want to move to sweat, you can go sit in a sauna, dry sauna, wet sauna, doesn't matter, but sweat. Go sit in the sun if it's a hot day, get your vitamin D, get your tan on, and sweat. Or, for me, when I work out, I usually wear long johns with pants, and then I'll wear like 2 or 3 layers on top, because I'm pretty good at regulating my own body temperature, my body is, so it's just tough for me to sweat sometimes, and I want to sweat, so I'll wear like basically 3 layers above and below just to start sweating, and then I'll take them off and finish my workout once I get warmed up. So there you go. Exercise, movement, supplements, allergies, diet. We covered some methods here. We covered limiting toxic intake, and we covered water. So that's really all I wanted to cover here in regards to detoxification. Again, so many of these topics that I just quickly covered here we could expound upon. I will likely expound upon many of them in future videos. If you have any particular topics that you want me to cover in future videos, comment down below. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it for this one. Done.